Rick, good to see you, my friend.
Michael, as always, good to see you.
So we're like, 2 hours into the show? How's the show so far for you?
The show is good, What's most impressive is the interest, right? When I'm on the committee to kind of get this idea, we never imagined that the place would sell out that fast. Yeah, we tried to be an early adopter, get a booth space, but we didn't know how it was going to go, and it's been insane.
Yeah.
What a great idea and a great kind of meeting of the minds.
I think the fact that the number of contractors who've mistakenly reached out to me and said, Michael, pull some strings and get us in, right? It says speaker, but that doesn't mean Ticketmaster.
Oh, yeah.
And the reality is there's no tickets. Like, the people that did not get tickets early are not getting tickets. That's a testament to how busy and popular this heat pump show is.
This is lining up for like the Beatles. You're not going to get a ticket. It's already done, right?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is with heat pumps, as you know, 2 decades of doing heat pumps, so
Yes.
I like that now it's becoming super trendy.
Right. Yes.
Belimo has some pretty cool products that play well into a heat pump application. So specifically hydronic heat pumps, you guys have a whole offering of zone valves, three-way valves, etc.
Correct.
That stuff's not sexy though, just going to be honest with you. What's really sexy is you guys have some really cool new products, specifically BTU meters. So what I was hoping is we could have a little bit of a discussion. I think you actually have brought some with you.
I did, and an excellent point. So, I mean, really in our industry, everything starts with everybody looks at the thermostat in the wall and they forget about all the stuff that's attached to it that makes everything work well, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, even from our side with, simple valves that are now press fit, you're very involved in that kind of the fitting industry to make that simple for installation. But as we kind of talk about heat pumps and reducing climate, the impact on the climate, we kind of need to measure.
Yeah.
Right? So in order to measure, you need something that can measure the energy in the system. So in the past couple of years, we kind of take on this initiative to kind of have sensors that do more, right?
Yeah.
Do it in a smart way. And I know you like smarts, you're a technology guy, right?
Yep.
So we designed a meter that is a thermal energy meter that is also certified by Measurement Canada, so that we can have billing grade metering, right? So
I think that's important for people to understand that is if you're going to put a BTU meter into a building, it does need to be certified, right? If you're going to do billing, and so the example we would talk about be like a tower, a high-rise residential building where you want to have suite by suite or occupant billing, it has to be a certified device.
Right. So, I mean, there's two kind of ways of using that measuring for. So you can do it for measuring and verification to, you want to show the utility, how much I can save, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, absolutely, there's meters for that. But as soon as you say you want to charge a fee, in Canada, you have to have a Measurement Canada certification.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of metering companies, because there was early adoption in Europe, they went to the European testing facilities and got themselves passed.
Yeah.
Well, there is an extra step in Canada. Canada's regulating body is Measurement Canada. Even though we adopted EN 1434 from Europe, we made our own version in Canada, CSA 900, that matches that requirement. However, the Canadian government has a slightly variation on what the Europeans do. So, for example, this meter has a high threshold and a low threshold for its tolerance, right? For where it's efficient, right? In Canada, you cannot measure and record billable BTUs below your efficiency level. In European Union, you can, right? So ours is specifically designed for Canada, and we're going to use that meter from the Arctic to the Antarctic. It's all for all of the Americas. So, but the cool thing is, it's a smart device. So, like I said, you're a technology guy, can do computers. This little device can plug into an Ethernet adapter. I don't know if I can get that off or not, but I can't. So it has an RJ45, can plug it in.
Yep.
It can speak over power over Ethernet. So we don't even need to bring wires to it.
Right.
It can be powered off your Ethernet cable.
So I think the PoE connection is a really important distinction. Most commercial guys already understand this, but that PoE connection eliminates security issues, right? There's a lot of security issues that come into play from a network connection standpoint. And the other thing that's really important is the PoE makes it easy for a wiring standpoint. It's not a separate guy that's doing the network connections and wiring the device.
And because we've got it low voltage, I don't need to have an electrician to do that. Now, we talked about smarts a bit, so PoE is a smart connection. Now, you're going to have to send that data to somewhere. Okay, so we've invested a lot in our ecosystem, our IoT ecosystem. So once this is connected through that Ethernet connection, it can go up and speak to our cloud. So maybe you as a a company, a mechanical contractor, you want to get in the billing game.
Yep.
Okay, well, you need to pull that data from our cloud, make the bill for your clients, and send it off to them. So we made that part easy too.
Yeah.
So they don't have to go back and collect the data locally. I mean, there's a lot of metering technologies like pulse meters that you have to go back and validate and then record all that information and compare it to the meter's results. That's a lot of time-consuming stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's an addressed device, it's addressed on the cloud, you're pulling from a specific meter, everything's simple and clean.
So from a range capability standpoint, this particular BTU meter, what is the range of operation it'll work within? Like how calibrated is this device?
So our meter is considered a Class 2 meter. Most of the BTU meters on the market that are used for HVAC are considered Class 2.
Okay.
So that means we're plus or minus 5% at either level of the tolerance, at the upper level or the lower level.
Yep.
So you're getting really good accuracy. And then the repeatability is 0.5%. So we're accurate at that plus or minus 5% on an ongoing basis, plus or minus 0.5%, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we'll see how that goes. We are targeting that heat pump market because that water to hot water heat pump, yes, you do lovely calculations. We can just validate your calculations.
Yeah. So one of the things you'll see with heat pumps, and we've got a lot of experience with this, is typically if you design a system properly, keyword, design it properly, doesn't happen a lot,
I agree.
you can outperform the spec every single time. So one of the things that interests me in this particular product is more at the utility level. So what's happening is utilities in Ontario and across Canada are going in and doing district heating. Correct. And what they'll do is they'll go into a MERB application and they will we'll pick on Geo for a second, they will put 100 geothermal heat pumps into a variety of different residential applications with one central loop. Now what the utility has to figure out is how do we turn this into a business model where we can bill for this, and a product like this allows them to have individual BTU metering into every suite, every home, and now somebody like the electrical or gas utility can bill that out. Do you see that as a foreseeable market for this?
Absolutely. So, and that's part of what's built into the device is that it's not, you can't tamper with it. So part of the reason I have that kind of the setup like this today is because of the activation. Yeah. So the meter has to be one-time activated so that you as the homeowner know that nobody can mess with your numbers.
Yeah.
That if you're being billed by the utility and a trained person does the certification, because you have to be trained to do it, it's activated one time and one time only to be set up for your particular application.
Yeah.
Whether it's heating and cooling or whatever. So yeah, you're right. The utility companies are looking at getting into this game to sell thermal energy.
Yeah.
But you want to know that you can trust them, and they want to know they can trust you. So having a certified meter and having that activation be that way, make sure that there's trust on both sides.
For sure. So what I see as a future, and again, obviously I'm talking water-based heat pumps, because at the end of the day, as we both know, water is the most effective way for us to deliver BTUs, right?
Absolutely.
I run a 3/4 inch piece of PEX into a building, I'm delivering the same amount of BTUs as that 14 by 8 piece of ductwork.
Right.
So when you look at a utility going in the future, I'm going to put my my wizard's hat on, and I'm going to say you're going to see major builders that are not going to have gas meters on the outside of the building. They're going to have a BTU meter installed at every single home, and you're so used to having a $30 gas meter charge, I feel you're going to end up having that same $30 charge, but what you're paying for is that BTU metering in that building and potentially the ground loop that's installed outside. Now, a lot of people might say, pie in the sky, this is all theoretical.
No,
I can tell you right now, we have projects with hundreds of geothermal units going in with ground loops attached to those, and I look at a product like this and go, this makes a lot of sense.
Now, the other thing you have to consider, so if you consider it like a regular fuel, like it's a fuel neutrality thing. So
that's a key statement, and I'm glad you said that. We have to look at the ground loop as a fuel source. So go on.
Exactly. So that we kind of have this concept that we talk about fuel neutrality. It doesn't matter what the source is. If you design the system right, we can change the fuel source to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, yes, the utility company is going to bill you for the amount of energy you consume, but we can also look at how efficiently is the system using that energy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these district systems charge the user a penalty if they don't use the energy properly that's been supplied.
Yeah.
So there could be two fees. And that's why you want to make sure you are measuring, you're verifying, but you're optimizing the system and making it work as it's designed?
Well, one of the things we see is the carbon offset, right? So a device like this, you make a good point. I'm looking at it from a fuel metering. Now that fuel in this case is heat pump.
Right.
But this is something you can use down the road from the standpoint of trying to figure out, we said we were going to offset X amount of carbon in this building or in this subdivision. With a device like this, we can figure it out.
Exactly. So I could take the data from here and download the data, either through the cloud or locally, and say, okay, well, it was designed to be 180,000 BTUs.
Yeah.
Well, at peak load, I'm only putting out 120.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right.
Why?
Yeah.
Right? So those kind of things, and we attach this valve to a smart control valve to make it be an all-in-one device. So if you're going to do metering anyways, don't buy a meter and then go buy a control valve. Just buy it all together and do it once. Right? So that's what we're trying to push to that multi-unit residential business, commercially, anywhere where there's that energy being used.
And this product is available now, yes? Fully certified, ready to go?
Fully certified, ready to go.
Awesome.
You know, anybody can call us and we'll help them out to select it, size it, and get it ready to set up.
Well, that's great. Hopefully you'll bring it up during my spiel this afternoon. I don't remember where it is.
I'm looking forward to your spiel. I hope you have good success.
I'm going to make up at least half of it as I go.
All right, well then I'll throw in the things that you forget.
Yeah, perfect.
Thanks for your time, Michael.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks, man.
All right.